Derek?
John said today that Trent Brown going on IR, so he won't play in the last two games. Especially before he got hurt the first time, what kind of a force was he? I mean, you saw him right in front of you, so.
Yeah, he definitely makes a difference on the football games. That's for sure. Him and Rodney getting the Pro Bowl, rightfully so. Those guys are two of the best at their position. And Trent, that guy is just a monster. You know, when it comes to pass game, run game, I mean, you literally see him throw grown men, 8 to 10 yards off the ball. Like, it's crazy what he's able to do, against some really talented people. So, when you lose a guy like that, obviously, it's next man up. It hurts. But with the year that he had, him going to the Pro Bowl, rightfully deserved.
Gone through seasons with this much changeover on the roster. It's not just players.
It must be your first year here, huh? Yeah, I've been.
It's not just significant players.
No, I've been through a lot, man.
You mentioned before the comfort level this season, so far just being able, in terms of protection, but just with having those two guys named to the Pro Bowl and then Richie as an alternate, does that kind of speak to the sort of strides of the offensive line this year?
Absolutely. Coach always talked about that 52, 53 number. That was a big emphasis all offseason, and those guys worked their tail off to do a great job, of cutting that number big time. And those weren't all on them, obviously, last year. But when it comes to as a team, it was definitely a mindset, and to see those guys get rewarded for the hard work that they put in is always awesome. I wish all 5 of those guys would go, but you got to win to get more spots.
Right up to the moment where they determined that you had slid out of bounds, that play for you to have that RPO, to make the decisive move, to slide, inbounds, was that kind of a breakthrough? I mean, John's been kind of talking about that since you got here. Mm-hmm. And that seemed like that play was executed as well as you've done one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that play was a thing we talked about all week about, we don't run many zone reads, where I'm just a runner, We usually have some kind of pass option or something like that. But that play was that was a fun one, especially the way we ended the football game, right? Like, that would have been awesome. 2-minute warning, take the clock down, hopefully get a first down, all that, game over. We're all high-fiving, and it feels different. But that wasn't the case, and at least they said sorry.
Does that matter at all, Derek, that the league apologized?
No, gosh, no. It means absolutely nothing. Like I said, I like to keep my money in my pocket. But to decide the outcome of a football game, it's a little different.
Well, that was your last game in Oakland. People might say, well, you still have one more home game because you're going to L.A. Have you noticed what that's like down there in L.A. with the Chargers and playing the Rams in the exhibition last year?
Yeah, they I think the Chargers fans or the Chargers try and do a good job of not selling the tickets to Raider fans now. They try at least, but it'll be a lot of Raider fans in that building, just as it always was in San Diego, just like it always is in LA. Our Raider support in Los Angeles it's unbelievable.
A lot of people within the locker room they're going to be looking at you, and they're going to be looking at the coach to kind of draw on, a sense of optimism and stuff for the last 2 games of the season.
Yep.
How do you see that locker room shaking out right now? I mean, do you still see as much positivity and everything you want to see?
Absolutely. Sometimes you see some guys. I mean, it's like sometimes it looks like their dog got kicked, because they're human, right? It's hard to go through this business, and when you're not winning as many games as you want to, and everybody's talking about crazy stuff about, this and that and whatever, and it weighs on some guys, to be honest with you. And so you got to make sure you got to do your best as a player or as a coach to come in every day and be the same person no matter the circumstance. I hope that, the people that were around, when we were winning 12 games or this, would say that, I act the same way then as I do now, right? And I try my best to be the same at all times, knowing what's going on, knowing circumstances, knowing some things that have gone on. You still just try and stay positive, be upbeat, and make sure you hide everybody else from some of those things.
What's Hunter Renfrow bring back to the offense with him being back?
Hunter being back, obviously, we had a little, I'll say we were on the same page, obviously before he got injured. We had a really nice thing going, so we're going to have to – there's nothing like live reps, though. There's nothing like actually playing games and getting that feel back. So we'll have to do that. But, getting a guy like that back, he's a guy that's been awesome for us, not just on intermediate routes but deeper routes, different kind of things against some good players.
Sounds like Josh won't go this week. What did DeAndre and Jalen, you've been with them for a long time, what do they bring to the mix?
They're very talented. They both have a lot of production in this league. Whenever you have guys that have to come in and spell somebody, and take the load off somebody, you hope those guys aren't new. You hope those guys aren't just the first time out there, because it's hard to go from standing on the sideline for 8 plays in a row, then okay, go in and you have to do your job excellent. And those guys have a lot of time on task of doing that, and so. Anytime they're thrown into a role where they have to start or play extended downs, anytime we've asked them to do that, they've done a fantastic job. And so you miss Josh if he can't play. But at the same time, you don't worry, because we have 2 good backs that can handle it.
They're the same size, but how are they different? How are those 2 guys different, DeAndre and Jalen?
DeAndre and Jalen. So DeAndre, he always reminded me so much of Dominic Davis, my brother played with from LSU in Houston. Great balance, very tough runner. He's more of he's going to stick his face in your chest kind of a guy, but at the same time has good speed, whereas Jalen is that old scat back, he's that old run the routes, make you miss, dance around, make you look silly kind of guy. And, both of those guys being able to do different things physically, but able throughout the scheme be able to do every position, and do everything the running backs ask. Like we have Jalen in there on power, he can run inside the tackles as well as run the routes and do all that stuff. So both of those guys being versatile enough to do that, awesome.
The extent that Hunter can play, how much of an impact does he make on third downs?
Huge impact, because if we want to throw it to him, he does a great job winning, but we also know teams know that, and you can use him, whether you want to throw it to him or use him as diversion, same thing with Waller, same thing with Jalen. You can do those kind of things with those kind of guys when people are like, oh, they want to get the ball to here, it's nice because sometimes you'll actually throw it there and sometimes you'll actually just use them. So just having that element back, it just adds again back to our offense.
2 more guys.
John called Phillip one of the best PG trash talkers of all time. What kind of competitor is Phillip Rivers, and what do you respect about his game?
Yeah, him and Coach got into it. I hope they got it on NFL films last time. It was pretty funny. I'll remember that one forever. But he's super competitive, but he's also a great guy. He's got great big family. I'm not trying to catch him. I've always joked about that. We've competed for 6 years now. That's a long time to play against somebody, multiple times a year, and love competing against him. He talks trash to our defense, talks trash to our coaches, all those kind of things. But someone you respect, he doesn't cross the line.
Is it PG or is it G?
Yeah, I don't know. You gotta ask our defense.
What is it that makes Jalen particularly effective picking up blitzes? It seems like he does it.
Very smart. Whenever Rodney and I, in the centers, the quarterbacks, we have extra protection meetings and things like that. It started off, he was always in there with us, for these last, been together, 5 years? What's Jalen been, 4 years? And Rodney and I, we would meet and do that with the centers, quarterbacks, and then he started showing up, and now all the running backs show up. He's someone that makes sure that room knows what's important in this league. Obviously, coaches talk about all the time. You can be a great runner, but if you don't know who to block, you don't know how to block, you don't want to block, you're not going to play in this league at all. Teams find out real quick on film, oh, this guy doesn't want to block, and now they're going to blitz every time he's in the game, and it causes problems in the pocket. Jalen is a guy that knew coming out that, oh, can he block, right? I'm sure, he was doubted in that with his size and, things like that where he played school, and he's taken it upon himself to be one of the best third down backs. We say third down back all the time. People just think run routes, catch the ball. Third down back means he's in there pass protecting too. Because not only does he know who to block, he can make the calls just like Rodney and I can. You don't find very many running backs that can do that. And whenever you know who to block, you know how to and you know what to do, and you want to, the sky's the limit. And he's shown why he's special because it's important to him.